Well, the carbon 3D print is done. And I know what you're thinking. That's done. It looks pretty rough. Yes, because he had to 3D print it in different sections. He also had to melt it together. But I got a plan. We're going to smooth all this over. Obviously, you can see, it's pretty good as far as being flat. But it's definitely going to, if I'm going to paint it or wrap it, it's going to have to be a little bit flatter than that. So we're going to clean up these edges, and then we're also going to spray primer with a little bit of filler, and then we're going to come back through and make this nice and flat. So that's what I'll be working on. We're going to check to see if it fits first. Obviously, we need to make sure it fits first, and then from there, we'll smooth it over and get it ready for final assembly. I know some of you have been waiting on this. My buddy did say he probably would sell the file pretty cheap. You just have to get somebody to 3D print it or fix this issue. Anyway, if you're interested in that, just holler at me and I'll put you in touch with him. But anyways, this is the final product essentially. And then here is the back side. The green stuff is just other plastic melted in where we melted this in. But anyway, that is the finished product for as far as he's concerned. So we will continue working on making this flat and good, and then get everything squared away in the dash, and then finish wiring, and that will be the end of that. And then we can hopefully fire this thing back up soon and hopefully go for some drives soon. I know I'm tired of watching this thing sit in the garage, so stay tuned. All right, so this is the final print, and it fits perfectly. No issues, even with him having to melt this plastic together. Again, so we will, now that I know this fits, everything works, and it's basically covering everything I want it to cover. The brads are holding it in the factory place. We will blow this all apart, clean up the back. I'll show y'all kind of where I had to cut to get that screen where it is, in case anybody wants to do this in the future. And we'll get this cleaned up, sanded, painted, or wrapped. I haven't decided. I may wrap it in some kind of cloth to kind of make it disappear a little bit better, or I may paint it kind of more of a black matte. I haven't decided, but anyway, either way, this is still gonna get cleaned up and flattened down before I can do anything. So that is the next goal, is to get this thing cleaned up, because obviously we need to finish up this wiring, and a lot of this actually has to go to that screen. So that is where we're at right now. We'll keep you posted on upcoming project. All right. I know it's been a long time coming. We're back on the wagon a little bit. Got some time. As you see, we have a final product, and it's in. We still, don't get excited, we still have all this mess of wires to deal with. Obviously stuff's labeled. I was waiting on the screen to get put in because everything's going to run in essentially to it, as far as turn signals, headlights, all that good stuff. So I know it's been a long time coming, and I apologize for the wait. But anyway, this is the finished product. Obviously my handprints are all over it from putting it in here, but radio, everything is in exactly where I wanted it. It looks great, and I have no complaints. Fit is perfect. It fits flush to the screen. I don't have any complaints, or I wouldn't change a thing on it. We fixed these little ridges. He made some indentions right here, so it sits flush now. The last print, those were not there, so we just cut it off. All right, and this is with the dash pad on. Obviously the dash pad has not been rewrapped. I still got to do that at some point, but I want to get it right before we do that. So this is the angle from the side. I think I may cut a little bit higher on this piece that goes above the radio. It'll probably work, but it's really close, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. It does hide it better, but I may cut that. And this piece bolts in, for those that didn't see my last video. This piece bolts into the dash pad, so I can take it back off and modify it however I see fit. I can see full view of the screen from the seat, which would be about this view. Once it's turned on, I should see all those lights and everything in there. I still have access to the full radio too. I may leave it alone. I'm not sure. We'll play with different ideas before I go cutting anything, but technically this would mount in and sit probably somewhere in there. It's not exactly bolted in, but I am super happy with it. Like I said, with the key off, you just glance in, you're not going to really see. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, but obviously just from an outside looking in with no lights on, you're not going to see a lot of that stuff. It's going to be shielded by the top of that. So anyways, another Soulless screen in there. I'll be sure to tag the guy that told me I was an idiot. And I just keep putting Soulless screens in old cars. Little does he know, this thing was rotting in a junkyard. And now it's got all this new stuff in it. Anyways, that was a tangent and I apologize. We're going to continue on. Like I said, I've got all this wiring down here to still do. Then tuck everything back up and then loom everything and tuck everything out of the way, nice and neat. Obviously, this is just spaghetti right now. I have been slow, guys, and I apologize for the lack of wagon content. Between the hurricane weather was my last Thursday night in the shop. I did not want to be in a metal garage. It didn't get bad. I would have probably been fine, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. And then my family's been in and out of being sick and then just busy at work. So I have not had a chance to get on this. I'm going to try to get my attention back to it. We are pretty much done under the hood with the exception of the horns. So all we have to do is this right here. And then I got to figure out which brake switch I'm going to use for the brake light. Other than that, this is pretty much just going to be finished up like it is. And as you can see, the light switch down here is all labeled. And that mounts right there. So all we got to do is put that back up once we get everything tucked away. So this project's going to get done a lot faster than I anticipated, which is good. Yep, so we'll play with the radio. Like I said, I'm not a super fan of how that comes down, but I also know it'll go up a little bit, just a slight bit. But anyways, this is pretty much where it's going to live. I'll rewrap the dash at some point whenever I'm happy with the final product. And then we can get back over on that floor pan. As you can see, that's how that stuff dries with rust. So it cleaned out pretty good over there. We'll neutralize it with some water, and then we'll do this side once there's not so much stuff on the floor. So again, thank y'all for staying with me on this wagon content. I told you I'll be pretty cool with the outcome. I know several of you were wanting to do the screen. I'm trying to talk my buddy into either selling the file or giving it away or something, so the file can be given to other people, and then you can tweak it. I'm sure you could probably blank face it and cut in your own gauges, or radio or whatever. But anyways, he has the scans. I'm trying to talk him into it. We'll see how much time he has, and that's probably gonna be it for tonight. I can't give you power to this until I get all this stuff done. I know I said earlier I would probably try to get powered up just to see what it looks like, but without really getting all this stuff done, I don't really want to turn the key over because I cannot remember where I left off, and I do not want any open circuits arcing. I know some people have just been saying, just get this wiring done. This is the screen that I have to do now. Those are all the pinouts, so I have to know exactly where everything is. So that's going to take some time, but yeah, it'll clean all this spaghetti noodles up, and we'll get there one step at a time. Just wanted to show you all that so you can kind of relish in my pain a little bit, even though I caused this pain. It's going to look great, and yeah. So that is the current pinout as it comes out of the box. So we will get to work on this and hopefully have something going soon. All right, so working back on this wagon, I realized last time I worked on it, we have to pin everything into that screen for it to work. I realized I have an old wire harness for, I think it's an LS, that should have the pins that would work, but I don't know if I trust those pins. It's set out in the weather a good bit. So I am going to order the correct pin kit for that dash to be able to work. So that's the delay on the wagon. So the screen is actually in. Let me show you. As I showed you before, the screen is actually in, all the wiring sitting there. That is all I lack from finishing that project up. I have not had time. I had some family issues, as I said in one of my other videos that I had to attend to. So it's been about 2 weeks probably since I've been able to touch this. So I apologize for the delay, but I'm gonna get this pin kit coming hopefully sometime next week. I have a trip scheduled, and then when I get back, my plan is to sit down for several hours and just hammer all this wiring out and hopefully have something soon. I know a lot of you guys have asked me where the wagon is, and I'm working on it, promise. This is not my full-time job, so I have a couple hours at night or when I get a few hours after work before heading up to my family. So that's the deal. A lot of this stuff is just going to happen as it happens, and unfortunately there's no speeding it up. I work a full-time job like some of you do, so again, nights and weekends, just when I have time, is all the time I have for it. So trust me, I am trying to get it done just like the rest of you want. I wish it was as fast as I could go, but we're working on it. It'll be coming up soon.